What is going on, guys? We are just weeks away from the 94th Academy Awards. Now, I know that isn't everyone's cup of tea. A lot of people in this day and age don't particularly care for the Academy Awards or the Oscars in general. People say the show is long, it's boring, it's bloated. There's a lot of controversy in so many aspects of how the Academy chooses films. They don't pick the popular ones. They pick films no one has seen, which is a kind of funny statement. In the last 2 years, there's not many people going out to movies, and a lot of stuff is on streaming. But still, I know the awards don't have the sort of grandeur and the importance that they once held in the golden age of Hollywood. But I still find it a very fascinating thing. It's something I personally truly love as a lover of film and history of movies. The Academy Awards has been, it's a great kind of snapshot of the history of film. I mean, the Academy Awards go back to 1927. I mean, we're heading into the 94th ceremony. That's saying something. That's gone through, a depression, 2 world wars, a lot of other things. And like I said, it's the history and the people involved in it has always been a fascinating thing to me. Um, it's always been muddled in controversy. It's just how it is. There's the question of the closed-mindedness of the Academy and whatever the case may be. That withstanding, again, to me, it's not beautiful, but it's a great history on film, and it's something I absolutely love. I love researching that, learning about it, and through that, you find a lot of good films that you probably wouldn't know about. If you weren't watching these films or weren't paying attention to the Academy Awards. I mean, obviously there's the big ones everyone knows about. You're Gone with the Wind, Forrest Gump, Titanic, Braveheart, Ben-Hur. But then there's also a lot of hidden gems that people don't talk about, which I find fascinating. Because of that, I was able to discover a lot of these films. How this started out for me, I don't really know. As a kid, I always enjoyed watching the Academy Awards. Actually, as a kid, I enjoyed watching any kind of award show. Mom would let me stay up and watch. But for some reason, the Academy Awards is always one that stuck out to me. Now, the funny thing was, I wasn't always looking forward to it or didn't know it was coming. It just one night, hey, it's on. I'm going to catch it and watch it, and that's what happened. It wasn't really a focus for me until the '95 awards for the 94 show. In essence, when Forrest Gump won Best Picture, that was the first show. From that point on, I've watched every single show, and it's been, appointment viewing for me. Some shows have been hit and miss, for me. But there's always has moments. Some are forgettable. There's no question. But it's always been an interesting thing. But from that point, I just really, that point, I started going to movies a lot more often. See, by '94, I was like 19, I believe, if math is right. So we started making a point to see more films, and I started seeing these. I could go a lot more films, see way more stuff than I, what typically was. So I, get the different, I don't know, perspective on films. I'd see a lot more things that you typically wouldn't just be go popcorn film. Like now, I kind of have to pick and choose what I can go see or make appointment viewing to. Or then I can just see, I was probably seeing 1 or 2 movies a week, if that, if not more. And then of course, you had a video store, so whatever you missed at the theater, you could rent and catch it. It was a lot of fun. It was appointment viewing to rent movies from your local video store, preferably a mom and pop, but most likely a Blockbuster. But somewhere down the line, over time, I started reading, learning more about the history. I read a couple of good books, specifically Inside the Oscar 1 and 2, which are fantastic books on the history of the Academy Awards, which covers from the very beginning up to 2000. The authors stopped there, and I think they both passed away, so there's no further adapt or adaptions or add-ons, whatever you want to call it, to that. But they are, if you can find them, I think they're still in print. They're great books. I mean, they break down every year, from the beginning of the film release all throughout the campaigning and the Oscar nominations, the backstabbing, the politicking, the promotion, and it all up. It falls into the actual award ceremony. They break the award ceremony down piece by piece. So it's basically a play-by-play of the entire show, which is a great. Again, it's a great history lesson. So I highly recommend that if you're interested in the Academy Awards whatsoever, to find those books. They're great reads. But somewhere, so around 90, around 2000, 2005, 2006, maybe actually 2007, AMC had first announced that they were doing their Best Picture Showcase, which was where they would take a whole weekend, or actually a whole weekend, then it was one day, and show all 5 films that were nominated for Best Picture. It was the first time I did this. Like, happened to catch this. I mean, a bunch of my friends went, and it was just an awesome experience. We got to see every film nominated that year, and that year actually was The Departed that won, the Martin Scorsese film, Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Wahlberg. Very, very good film. From that point on, we did it every single year up until the last 2 years with the pandemic. AMC has not done it, which is a shame. But it's also hurt me because up to that point, I was able to catch every single film nominated before the Academy Awards show itself. So I had an idea of when we had our checklist or pull, whatever we want to call it. I had a pretty good idea of what I'm looking at for the most part. So the last 2 years, like last year and this year, I'm kind of in the dark because I haven't had a chance to really see any of those films. I know a lot of them are streaming, but frankly, with kids, it's kind of hard to get these films on streaming and sit down and watch them and really pay attention to them. Which was nice when you did it at AMC because you had, 2 days, a whole weekend, or 2 weekends actually. It was 2 Saturdays, back one Saturday, then the following week, to watch these films. Whether it was like they'd split, because after a while they had nominees up to 10 films, so they'd split them up. But it was a lot of fun to sit there and watch these films and on the big screen and really sit there and appreciate them and see films that, again, you probably wouldn't go see normally. But somewhere around that time of when I started doing the Best Picture Showcase, I got the idea that I wanted to collect all the Best Picture winners. And it took some time, a lot of time. Some things were harder to find. And actually, some weren't, a couple were, but I also wanted to try and get the best possible versions I could at that time. So I spent a lot of times, on Amazon trying to find some hard to find out of print copies, because I wanted to get the best copy down. And then there were some cases where I could just go to a Borders bookstore, and they had a shelf that just had nothing but, Best Picture DVDs. I would just swipe them up, and it was great. And then there were a couple that I had to get on VHS because they were not released on disc form of any kind. And that was kind of hard. I'm like sweating here, I apologize. But over time, I managed to collect every single film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture, and I managed to get them all on either DVD or Blu-ray. And I completed that several years ago, but now I make a point every single year to buy the new film, regardless of what it is. If it won Best Picture, I buy it. So far, I've been lucky. There hasn't been like one where like, oh my God, I don't want this movie, but I have to have it. I was scared the year Avatar was nominated because I did not want Avatar. I do not like Avatar. But if it had won Best Picture, I would have bought it begrudgingly. Luckily for me, it Hurt Locker won, which I thought was a better film. I digress. Which brings up another point about the Oscars. There's a lot of, people will say, well, this should have won, that should have won. And, in any case, art is subjective. And I will admit, in my opinion, there were a lot of misses and some things that, like, why wasn't that nominated? How did this win over this? But, like I said, art is subjective. who am I to judge? I'm not in the Academy. I don't make films. I just have an opinion, but my opinion is worth whatever. But that being said, what I thought I want to do, besides ramble on like I have now, is just take a quick walkthrough. If you see behind me, this is my Best Picture shelf, along with a little poster I have up here, which I believe was for the, I think, 80th Academy Awards. Because these posters here, which I'll get to a little bit, are something the Academy themselves used to sell like every 5 years, starting with the 70th anniversary. And this was the last one they made, which I'm very disappointed about because I would love to keep getting these. But anyway, this is my Best Picture shelf, and I thought I would just give you a quick rundown of showing you that shelf and what's on it. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we take a look here. You see this first poster, or first image is this poster I have, which I was mistaken. This is for the 85th Oscars. And pardon my reflection there. But you see each one of these has a statuette with a year underneath it, and they all kind of symbolize the film that won that year. That was the nice thing about these posters, that they usually had some kind of theme. I think the first one was 7. It was basically an Oscar wrapped around with like a film reel, but each section of the film was a poster for the awards. The other one was just basically a poster. But this was the most ingenious one. As you look at some of these, like this is 1978, The Deer Hunter. It's the Christopher Walken image. 1979's Kramer versus Kramer, which is the young boy the parents were fighting over. You've got, this is 81 Chariots of Fire. Let's see, what else we have here? 84 Amadeus. Jump up here. We've got The Godfather. The Godfather Part 2. Platoon. Here's Titanic. So yeah, I mean, this is a neat little image here. And again, I apologize for the glare. This is one of my favorite ones. This is A Beautiful Mind. It's not there. It's all in his head. It's an illusion. Spoiler alert. But that's really cool. We had The Artist, which was black and white, silent film. And this, the last one, this was the year of the Hurt Locker one, but this poster came out before the award, so this was blank, which is a shame. I think I saw some artwork after the fact where it was like shredded paper underneath the Oscar to represent all the files they try to shred. But so that's the poster. Give me a sec. And here are some of my, I don't know, kind of on display things. Started off here with this 70th anniversary Gone with the Wind Blu-ray. You see this is a limited edition. This is one of my favorite films of all time. And I love this. This is like a velvety box set. It's really nice. It's got, a couple of, there's like so much stuff in this. So maybe one day I'll pop this out and just show this off as by itself. But you got the film on Blu-ray, which looks fantastic. You've got some documentaries on the making of the film. You've got a whole TV movie based on behind the scenes of making of Gone with the Wind. You've got a documentary on MGM itself, the studio. You have documentaries on Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh. I mean, there's just so much stuff in here, along with other little paraphernalia, which is really cool. But this is a fantastic set. I believe their 75th anniversary released something similar. It's in a white box. I love this image, which is the iconic image. I love this. But again, this was, I said, limited edition. But again, one of my favorite films. On here, this is what I was talking about earlier. The VHS you see here, Wings and Cavalcade. These were the last two films I had that were not on any kind of disc. Wings had not been released at all. And I had to get this. This was like, the VHS was hard to find. Looked like I got it at a decent price. Cavalcade had never been released either. It was released on DVD in like some giant 20th Century Fox box set of DVD films, but never by itself until finally someone or somewhere they put out a petition of what kind of, I think 20th Century Fox might put out a survey or something, what films that you want to see us put on Blu-ray, classic films. And a lot of people wrote in and asked for Cavalcade. And lo and behold, Cavalcade got a Blu-ray release. And that was the last film I needed to get to have everything on some kind of disc, whether DVD or Blu-ray. So, but I still hold on to these because I really liked these. Now, Oscar's Greatest Moments. This is an old VHS, this basically, like I said, it's Oscar's Greatest Moments. It's hosted by then Academy President Carl Malden, and it's highlights from 71 to 91 of the show itself. And you see, just, I don't know if this is, you can find this or anywhere. I always kind of hope they would have made like an updated version for some of the more recent, memorable moments of the Oscars, but they did not. But that's one I will tend to pull out because I do still have a VCR every now and then, like usually once a year around Oscar time, and just watch it just for the nostalgia. So that's a lot of fun. Down here is the actual list of movies, and you see, oh my gosh, so much dust. I need dust up here a little bit, but there's Wings, the very first Academy Award winner in 1927, silent film, Wings, starring Clara Bow. The first musical, The Broadway Melody. And this is something I like, too, with some of these things as Warner Brothers. These DVDs, they put these little tabs of your Academy Award winner, Best Picture, which was nice. A fantastic movie, still holds up very well today. All Quiet on the Western Front. This is another special Universal packaging they did at the time, which the glare is kind of hard, but Academy Award winner, Best Picture. Cimarron, another one, Warner Brothers. This is one that doesn't get a lot of love for a lot of reasons. I mean, it's hard to watch now. There's a lot of, it doesn't hold up as far as, racial things go, and there's a lot of, it's hard to watch. But the overall story is something I really like. I mean, it's a sweeping story of change over time and following, a family, more or less. I mean, those kind of things, I always love epics like that. That's big on me. But, I mean, content-wise, it does not hold up very well at all. Grand Hotel, which is one of the first kind of ensemble films. We had a bunch of big stars, several different characters being at this Grand Hotel, and their stories all intertwine. They're all different stories that intertwine somehow, and I always love films like that. This is a great film, and you've got a great cast of Greta Garbo, John Barrymore, and Joan Crawford, Wallace Beery, Lionel Barrymore. Great film. Again, here's that Cavalcade Blu-ray. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo. It's basic, nothing fancy on it, but it's just great to get it on Blu-ray. My most recent upgrade, because I had this on DVD, I just recently bought this at my local drive-in last year. It happened one night, Criterion Collection. The first film to win all 5 major awards: picture, director, actor, actress, and screenplay, with Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable. Let's see. I apologize for that glare. I'm going to take the glare off there. There we go. Maybe a little blah, but, at least there's no glare. Another Clark Gable film, Mutiny on the Bounty. Great Ziegfeld. Life of Emile Zola. You Can't Take It With You. And you see here, my first Gone with the Wind for this set. And I still keep this on the shelf because at least I can put it on the shelf where I can't put the box set on the shelf. And I like that set a lot. So, Rebecca. This here is a Criterion Collection DVD. That has been out of print for a long time. I paid a lot of money to get this because all they had was bare bones DVDs, and this was the only one I could find that was special. Like I said, I tried to get all special versions if possible. Put some, see that again. Yeah, you can see it's and the only Alfred Hitchcock film to win Best Picture, although I don't believe he won. He did not win Best Director. You have How Green Was My Valley, which is notorious for beating out Citizen Kane for Best Picture. And it stars a very young Roddy McDowall. The movie brings me to tears every time I watch it. Mrs. Miniver. Another interesting, British tale, or World War II, told from the British point of view. And of course, the classic Casablanca. These snapper cases. I hate snapper cases. 1 second. And you're going my way, which I believe Shout Factory actually has this on Blu-ray. I need to upgrade to that. The Lost Weekend. One of the best films about life after war and coming home, the best years of our lives. Excellent, excellent film. Plus, it has the wonderful Myrna Loy. Gentleman's Agreement. Hamlet. All the King's Men. Bette Davis is All About Eve. Gene Kelly in American in Paris. And the one that people are surprised that won Best Picture, The Greatest Show on Earth by Cecil B. DeMille. Basically, a movie about the circus. That's really all it is. The circus. It's not what you consider a Best Picture winner. It's cute. It's fun. It has Charlton Heston and Jimmy Stewart. But it just, again, not exactly what you say, wow, that's Best Picture. And I can't remember what was up against that year, but it was kind of a surprise to everyone that film won. But I think it was a matter of how well marketed it was at the time. Another great From Here to Eternity. The film that won, I believe... No, I don't think it was this one. Ernest Borgnine won. No, he did not. He was nominated for this. I think Frank Sinatra was nominated. I don't think he won the award for this one. I don't think. Marlon Brando on the Waterfront. I'm going to take you down to... Speaking of Ernest Borgnine, there he is, Marty, where he did win the Academy Award. And then Around the World in 80 Days. And this is a big film. This is the first film winning the Academy Award that was shot in widescreen. And it really uses that effect. This is a big, sprawling film. It's also known for inventing the term cameo for a lot of the stars that kind of popped up in just little blink and don't miss a moments. Bridge of the River Kwai, which won Alec Guinness, a.k.a. Obi-Wan Kenobi, an Academy Award. Gigi. And then Epic Ben-Hur. The Apartment, which... This one I need to upgrade big time, because I know that Arrow actually has a special edition out there, and Kino Lorber is putting this out, I think, in HD or in 4K. So, yeah. Interesting. And here we have a West Side Story from 1962, which is the Steven Spielberg remake, is nominated for Best Picture this year. And I have not yet seen that, but I really like West Side Story. So, one of my favorites, Lawrence of Arabia, and I love the set. It's just a really, I don't know, it's a canvas set, but it's how the booklet is. It's really, it's really rough, canvasy feel. It's really cool. Tom Jones. One of my all-time favorite musicals, My Fair Lady. This is during the 60s now, where you get a lot of musicals. You're going to get, The Sound of Music. Man for All Seasons. And Heat of the Night, which Kino Lorber is releasing a 4K version of this also. The last musical of the 60s, Oliver. And I believe the last musical to win Best Picture until Chicago. Midnight Cowboy in the wrong way. Well, I know why, because the way it was, the lettering is upside down this way. The only X-rated film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. Of course, it's a very soft X. Now that would be considered an R rating. George C. Scott for Patton. Of course, most known for him refusing his Oscar for Best Actor. And Gene Hackman, The French Connection. And then here, of course, The Godfather. Now this is the entire Godfather trilogy. Obviously, I couldn't split this 1 and 2 on here, so the whole box that goes here. Because you have The Godfather winning, and then, obviously, The Sting would come next. And then it was followed by Godfather Part 2. Now, Godfather Part 3 is on a set, but I can't do anything about that. And then you have the film that won the Academy Award the year I was born, Jack Nicholson and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And it was the second film to win all 5 major awards. And then you had 1976, Rocky. Now here you have one that is infamous again. Woody Allen's Annie Hall, 1977. Beat out Star Wars for Best Picture. Yeah, it's one of those ones that people are like, huh? Because people will say this is Woody Allen's magnum opus, but it being out Star Wars is one of those ones to say, the Academy just didn't want to accept change or whatever, and I had to agree. But what do they know about George Lucas' space opera at the time? The Deer Hunter, one of my favorite films, very, very hard. Very hard film. It's very traumatic. It's gut-wrenching, but very good, very good. Kramer versus Kramer. Another one, 2 Meryl Streeps in a row. Another one, though, that's, if you're a parent going through divorce and with kids, this is probably hits close to home. Ordinary People, directed by Robert Redford. This is one of those ones you don't hear much about. It's kind of forgotten about. The great performance of Timothy Hutton. You've got Mary Tyler Moore and Donald Sutherland. Very good film. Chariots of Fire. The one thing I remember from this song is the theme. The dun 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 dun. I'm not going. That's terrible, but that theme. You have Gandhi, which beat out E.T. for Best Picture. Terms of Endearment, which I really, really love this movie. I really like its sequel too, The Evening Star, which is one we've forgotten about, but this is a really good one. Good Shirley MacLaine film. And you have, almost missed, Amadeus, 1984. Very, very good movie. Meryl Streep again, and Robert Redford, 1985's Out of Africa. Then you have Oliver Stone's Platoon, in 1986. And this one, The Last Emperor, this is a huge set, because this has a director's cut along with the theatrical version. But I remember seeing this as a kid. This is one of those cases where it won the Academy Award, and I didn't see a lot of movies then in 87, but I remember saying, I never heard of this film. It's winning all the awards. It's just crazy. And years later I watch it, it's a really, really good film. It's an epic, but it's a very good. And the director's cut, I think, is much better. I think it's shot in a different aspect ratio on this disc, but as opposed to the theatrical version, which is widescreen. But it's still very good. It's Rain Man, Driving Miss Daisy, which is one that I don't think probably holds up well. I think it's still a good movie, but by today's sensibility, it probably does not hold up very well at all. Dances with Wolves, another one of my favorite films. Very good. The Silence of the Lambs, the third film to sweep the 5 major awards. And people praise us for, horror winning the Academy Award for Best Picture, although I really don't consider that horror, but whatever. I still think JFK should have won that year. But that's one of my arguments. There you go. Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood Western, which I really like a lot. I think it's a different type of, it's the old rundown gunslinger or whatever, just want to get out of the business, but it just drags him back in. Very good performance from Gene Hackman and Morgan Freeman, and directed by Clint Eastwood as well. And of course you have, right after that was Spielberg's Schindler's List. Forrest Gump, which I just recently bought this Blu-ray because I had this on a 2-disc DVD. Braveheart. The year the Independence cashed in. An English Patient took home 9 Academy Awards. And then the epic Titanic. And you see I have 2 of these here. And it's because I recently bought this on Blu-ray with a 3D version, which has all the same features that are on this, but I really love this set. It's so beautiful and everything, and I didn't want to get rid of it. After that, you have Shakespeare in Love, An American Beauty, and Gladiator, the extended edition, and back-to-back Russell Crowes with A Beautiful Mind, Chicago, The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Clint Eastwood again with $1 Million Baby, Crash, the film that was a surprise to many as it upset the favorite, which was Brokeback Mountain. And I think this is another one that people don't seem to like very much. It's, people say it's very heavy-handed in a lot of ways. But again, it's a film that I like because it has that, the ensemble cast and these different storylines, they all interweave together. I'm a sucker for that kind of storytelling, good or bad, and I really enjoy this. Martin Scorsese finally winning Best Picture with The Departed. And then from here, there's strictly all Blu-rays. There's No Country for Old Men. I felt like the first one I got on Blu-ray. Slumdog Millionaire, which was kind of a surprise to me, but it was very good. The Hurt Locker, the film that I am very thankful beat out Avatar for Best Picture. The King's Speech. The Artist, which was the first silent film. The first silent film to win since Wings back in 1927. Although it's not completely silent, as there is spoken word at the end of the film. The Ben Affleck film Argo, which this is a damn good movie. 12 Years a Slave. Birdman, which was kind of a weird one for me, but I was happy for Michael Keaton. Spotlight. Very good story. Moonlight, which was known for the surprise at the Oscars, is that they announced that La La Land had won, only to find out that they read the envelope wrong, or the letter card right, and Moonlight actually won. So that was a big controversy. Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of Water. Well, that's got a weird effect, huh? Another controversial one, The Green Book, with Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali. Excuse me. The first foreign film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture, not just Best Foreign Film, but actually won the Best Picture. Parasite, which this is a fantastic movie. Much better than I expected. And then last year's Nomadland. Now, I have actually not seen Nomadland yet, unfortunately. As, again, without the Best Picture showcase, I didn't get a chance to see a lot of these films. And, my mother-in-law makes a point to buy me these every year on my birthday, because my birthday tends to coincide at the Oscars, so she would buy me the new film every year. And she bought me that one, and unfortunately, I have not had a chance to sit down and watch it. I feel bad about that. I hope to rectify that here very soon. Hopefully before this year's ceremony. So anyways, that is it. And that was kind of a long rambling on. And I do appreciate you sticking around for this. But that's my Best Picture collection. And you see it's got some room to grow the next couple of years. So that is it for now. Hope you liked it. Hope you stuck around. If you did, click like, share, subscribe. Tell me if you enjoyed the Academy Awards. What are some of your favorite Best Picture winners? What films do you think should have won Best Picture? Or do you even care at all? Either way, thanks. And until next time, this is Chuck saying I'll see you on the other side and enjoy the Academy Awards if you choose. Later.